Do you want to retire at 40? Do you want to maintain $40,000 in annual purchasing power without working? Do you want to minimize the fear of running out of money? The answer is simple. Save $1 million. Understand the 4% rule. Why does it work? This slide explains it all. There's a 1998 study called the Trinity Study. They analyzed U.S. market data from 1926 to 1995. Withdraw 4% of your assets in the first year from a mixed portfolio of stocks and bonds. Then adjust your withdrawal amount for inflation. The result? With 50% or more in stocks, you get around a 95% success rate over 30 years. The math is simple. $1 million times 4% equals $40,000. You can withdraw $40,000 in the first year. If inflation is 3% the next year, that's $41,200. You maintain the same purchasing power. Work backwards. Annual spending $40,000 times 25 equals $1 million. This is your target savings amount. This is a rule of thumb shown by historical U.S. market data. It doesn't guarantee the future, but it shows a high success rate across 70 years of data. And this is an achievable goal. Keep your annual spending at $40,000. Target $1 million in savings. This brings your early retirement closer to reality. Today I'll show you the science behind it. So how many years does it take to save $1 million? It's determined by your savings rate, not your income. Your savings rate. Let's consider a $100,000 annual income with a 7% real annual return. This isn't a guaranteed number. It's an estimate based on long-term historical averages. With a 50% savings rate, you save $50,000 per year and live on $50,000. According to the 4% rule, annual spending $50,000 times 25 equals $1.25 million needed. Under this scenario, you reach it in about 17 years. What about a 70% savings rate? You save $70,000 per year and live on $30,000. Required assets, $30,000 times 25 equals $750,000. About 8.5 years to achieve. Do you see it? Even with the same $100,000 income, raising your savings rate from 50% to 70% cuts your time to retirement from 17 years to 8.5 years, almost in half. This is the power of your savings rate. Someone earning $200,000 with a 30% savings rate versus someone earning $60,000 with a 70% savings rate. Who reaches retirement faster? The latter, because the higher your savings rate, the less you need and the faster you save. However, actual years will vary with taxes, investment fees, market volatility, and inflation. This is a guideline, but the principle doesn't change. Don't chase income. Maximize your savings rate. There are two paths to FIRE: lean FIRE and fat FIRE. What is lean FIRE? A strategy to achieve early retirement with minimal expenses. Assume you live on $30,000 per year. According to the 4% rule, $30,000 times 25 equals $750,000 needed. This means many people could potentially achieve this in their 30s. On the other hand, what is fat FIRE? A strategy to retire while maintaining a comfortable standard of living. Assume you live on $100,000 per year. $100,000 times 25 equals $2.5 million needed. This requires either high income or long-term savings. The difference is $1.75 million. Even within FIRE, your lifestyle choice changes your required assets by more than 3 times. Which is right? That depends on your values. Lean FIRE gets you freedom faster. Fat FIRE maintains comfort. Both are valid strategies. What matters is clarifying which one you choose. Then adjust your savings rate toward that goal. You can't achieve FIRE with vague goals. However, let me add this. With recent inflation, the real purchasing power of $1 million has declined. Recalculating the real purchasing power in your area is critical. $1 million is often used because it's a round number, but in real life you need an inflation-adjusted target amount. Now, let me show you another strategy. Geographic arbitrage. This is a strategy that explores the possibility of reducing required assets by moving to areas with lower costs of living. Say you live in San Francisco. Annual spending, $100,000. Required assets, $2.5 million. Even with a high savings rate, this takes 15 to 20 years to save. But what if you move to a Southeast Asian city like Chiang Mai, Thailand? You could potentially keep annual spending around $30,000. Required assets, $750,000. The difference is $1.75 million. However, there's an important caveat. You can't necessarily maintain the same standard of living as is. Quality of healthcare, education, security, living environment, language, tax system, visa acquisition difficulty and cost, currency fluctuations, local inflation rates. You need to weigh everything. Especially in recent years, long-term visa acquisition costs have become expensive. Programs like Thailand Elite Visa have increased dramatically in price. The situation is different from the old days of easy relocation for anyone, but the numbers are clear. There's potential to lower your living costs. Geographic arbitrage is one option to accelerate FIRE. But comprehensive judgment is necessary. You have the freedom to choose your location. Use that freedom wisely. Now here's the most important comparison. Should you increase income or reduce spending? Say you increase your income by $10,000 per year. Taxes take 30%. Take home $7,000. Here's the critical fork in the road. If you maintain your standard of living and put this entire $7,000 into savings, the effect is significant. But most people raise their standard of living. For example, if they maintain a 50% savings rate, savings only increase by $3,500. It's the trap of spending half the raise. On the other hand, what happens when you cut spending by $10,000 per year? Savings increase by $10,000. No taxes. Furthermore, reducing annual spending by $10,000 means your required assets drop by $10,000 times 25 equals $250,000. A double effect. In this example, expense reduction is more effective than income increase because savings increase and target amount decreases. This is why the FIRE community emphasizes expense reduction. Increasing income is also important, but reducing expenses with the discipline not to raise your standard of living brings you closer to financial freedom with more certainty. Where should you spend your time? The answer is clear. Attack both. But don't forget the double effect of expense reduction. So how do you achieve FIRE? There are 5 steps. Step 1. Clarify your goal. Not I want to retire early, but by age 40, save $1 million and live on $40,000 per year. Define it specifically. Without numbers, there is no plan. Step 2. Maximize your savings rate. Target 50% or more. Increase income, reduce expenses. Attack both simultaneously. But maintain the discipline not to raise your standard of living. Step 3. Make low-cost, diversified investing your foundation. Global stock index funds, combinations with bonds. Adjust according to your country of residence, currency, and tax system. You don't need complex strategies. Simple is strongest. Step 4. Maximize tax-advantaged accounts. In the U.S., 401k and IRA. In Japan, NISA and iDeCo. Research your country's systems. Minimizing taxes maximizes assets. Step 5. Review flexibly according to market conditions. 4% isn't a fixed magic number. Using a variable rule that slightly reduces withdrawals in bad market years tends to increase success rates. These 5 steps are your blueprint to financial freedom. Follow the system, not emotions. The system will set you free. Now, let's organize today's key points. Here's today's summary. First, the 4% rule, a rule of thumb validated by historical data. Withdraw 4% of assets in the first year, then maintain purchasing power by adjusting for inflation. The high success rate shown by the Trinity Study with historical data. However, this doesn't guarantee the future. Depending on market conditions, it may be revised to around 3.8% to 4.0%. That's why flexible withdrawal adjustments are critical. Second, your savings rate determines everything, not your income amount. With assumptions like a 7% real annual return, 50% savings rate gives roughly 17 years, 70% gives roughly 8.5 years. Actual years will vary with taxes, markets, and inflation. But the principle doesn't change. Third, the double effect of expense reduction. Not only do savings increase, but required assets also decrease. With the discipline not to raise your standard of living, this is the fastest path. What's your savings rate right now? Is your target asset amount clear after inflation adjustment? Share your strategy in the comments. Your FIRE goal, your savings rate, your questions. Everything becomes wisdom for this community. Thanks for investing your time with me today. This channel breaks down the 4% rule, asset allocation, and concrete strategies to financial freedom with numbers. You can achieve financial freedom too. If you want to gain that confidence, hit subscribe. Turn on notifications too. Until next time, keep building.